because I keep on seeing robins all the time, so I was just like, I'll draw some robins. And I like drawing crazy birds. I don't know why, but when I had cancer and I was having my chemo, I just keep on drawing birds. I love drawing birds. I love chickens and stuff, like crazy chickens. But that's the one I did in Christie, that one, so I like that one. They look a bit crazy though, don't they? I think I drew what I felt on this one. You know, the why, like the eyes, like, well, the drugs you have to take.
Yeah. Maxine is a hairdresser, a mum of 2, and a fiancé to Mike.
How long are we going for, Mike? About 4 years?
Yeah. Maybe out of 0.
I only do it for probably a full day a week. I have a few clients a week. I won't commit that much to it anymore. So, like I said, I still get poorly and stuff.
What else do flowers need to grow?
Seeds.
Well, seeds. Flowers come from seeds, don't they? So what do they need? What do we need to give flowers to help them
Water
grow?
and sun.
Good boy. So my day-to-day life is, I've got a little boy who's 6, so I have to take him to school, and I work for my dad. So I do that, and then we come home, and then maybe go out somewhere. I go to the skate park or something. I'll go out for a walk.
However, Gemma noticed something was not right in her body.
So when I was 24, I got my letter calling me up to go for a smear test, and I ignored it for about 3 months because I didn't think it was important. But then I started getting some symptoms, so I got really, really heavy bleeding. And at first I just thought it was like a really irregular period. I started getting really, really heavy discharge, and then I went to the doctor. I rang the doctors then and booked myself in for a smear test because I thought, I'd Googled it all and I thought, I've got cancer, and I completely convinced myself that I had cancer.
Maxine also noticed abnormal bleeding, and something was not right in her body.
Something was telling me something wasn't right. I just felt like I was in too much pain, and there was too much, basically just way too much blood.
There was a letter on the door, on the doorstep. I opened it and it said that I had severe cell changes. So I rang them up and I booked in, and I had to go for a colposcopy, take away a little bit because he'd found like a tumour, but he couldn't say if it was cancer until he tested it.
They were just trying to then take a sample of it then. But they said there is something there. We think you've got abnormal cells. But now when I think about it, you're not going to see abnormal cells, are you? It was actually a big tumour, and they knew it was probably knew it was cancer there and then.
They took a little bit away, and then I woke up, and he held my hand and he said, "I'm sorry to say that it is cancer." I just convinced myself that I was going to die, and I kept saying, "Am I going to die? I'm going to die." And the doctor said, "It's not something that I can tell you straight right now." So that night I spent in the hospital. I planned my funeral and everything. I knew what song I was going to have, and I was really stressed out thinking who's going to look after my son, because he was only like 18 months at the time. I got sent to the Christie then for treatment, and I started chemotherapy every Wednesday, so I was hooked up to a bag for 8 hours every day.
Maxine underwent chemotherapy and a hysterectomy.
Back up, I remember waking up and crying because I woke up, because I didn't want to wake up. Like, I was fighting for my life off chemo. My heart started failing. The cancer itself was really aggressive cancer. So then they wouldn't give me the radiotherapy because I was too thin. If you had the radio done, where it would just be constantly done on where my cervix was, so then it would attach my bowel and my bladder together. And she said, your life just wouldn't be worth living. I sort of got left to it. Yeah, it was really shit. Rubbish. Christie becomes your family. My partner, he was incredible. He helped me so much. Everything, every single day. Made sure I had food, water, he's always there, holding my hand all the way through it. All the way through, he didn't leave my side once. I can remember him just picking me up and running me through the hospital. Because I went really sick. He literally did not leave me once. Sorry.
It's fine. When I was going through my treatment, there wasn't that much help. Like, I didn't really have anybody to talk to who was going through exactly the same thing as I did. So that's why I thought to make a little community where everybody can go and everybody seems to know that they can come to me. And then I post lots of about symptoms to tell girls what to look out for and like what is normal and what isn't normal and when they need to go and speak to the doctor. And I do a lot of raising awareness as well, so this is when I went and spoke on Tameside Radio. So I've just mentioned that there so everybody knows what I'm up to. I've tried to like make it a bit more personal, and I've posted a lot about other people's stories. Like I've posted about Maxine's story on there as well, because Maxine's story is a lot different to mine, and I want to make sure everybody's aware that it's not just straightforward cancer treatment, like there's lots of other things that can go wrong.
So this is a picture that I post on my Instagram, like a before and after. So this is my journey. This is when I was really ill, when I was going through my chemo, and I lost a lot of weight, lost all my hair, my eyebrows, my eyelashes. You can see my eye socket coming through because I was so thin. So this is when I started needing a bed in the hospital because I was becoming too weak to stay sitting up. So it's all literally all about hair loss, all the drugs that I've taken. I try and keep up with my blog and post a few pictures and post what I'm doing, just because it's good for people who've going through cancer to see that you can get through it and you can have a good life after.
In females in the UK, cervical cancer is the 14th most common cancer.
Do you remember when we was collecting money?
Yeah.
It was collecting money for Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust. And how much money did you collect in your bucket?
200?
£300? Didn't you? Do you remember what you were saying?
No.
Any spare change for Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust?
No, I didn't say that.
You did. And everybody gave you pennies, didn't they, in your bucket?
Yeah. How many did you
I didn't get that much. I got like £90 or something. You got well more than me.
Me.
Ooh, I'm losing some.
People tend to feel relieved when they get the all clear.
Yeah, so my nurse Ivy told me to go and ring the bell, which I did, and I can remember like not really wanting to ring it too loud because I was like scared of like disturbing the other patients there really, because they're all getting their treatment still and the bell was actually really quite loud when you ring it. But we did, didn't we?
Well, it's quite relieving for him to hear one of that anyway.
Yeah, it must be nice for the other patients to hear someone ringing the bell, because then it's like they're going to be there at some point. But it was just really overwhelming, really, and it was like a really emotional day as well. I can remember being in tears a lot as well. And
So the radiotherapy affects your ovaries, so I can't have children anymore. The treatment's made me completely infertile, which I've really, really struggled with. That's been like the biggest thing for me, because I can't have any more children, which I do want. And like I've got a little boy and he's 6 now, and I would absolutely love for him to have a brother or a sister. But I just have to think how lucky I am that I got Jessie. I always say I remember at the time when my treatment had worked and everything had gone, and I used to say to Jessie that you saved me, and like every so often Jessie says, "Mummy, I saved you, didn't I?" So he's like more a hero. Like at one point I was really like focused on adopting, but now I just think it's something that I do want to do in the future, but I'm a lot more calm and relaxed about it all now. And at the end of the day, I'm really, really lucky that I had Jessie just in time. It's literally full. So when he's older, he can look back on it and show his girlfriend.
Do you think it's weird how we both, after everything what we've been through, we both want to move to the countryside?
yeah,
And just be in nature, that's all I want.
I used to live in the country when I was younger.
Where did you live?
Sydnton.
Did you?
Yeah, so I've always like been in the country, but then obviously I moved up to like Stockport area because there was better healthcare, because my son has autism, and that's the reason why I moved here.
I just want a little cottage with a log fire
Oh yeah.
and drinking local cider and reading my book by the fire. That's all I want.
Oh.
And then be able to take my dog out for a nice walk, just somewhere where there's quiet.
Takes that fear away, doesn't it, I find?
Yeah.
Makes you realise that actually time isn't as long as you think it is.
I know it sounds really silly, and I'm not grateful that I had cancer, but in a little weird way, I'm glad that it did come into my life and it's changed my life.
It changes.
Completely. And now, I know it took a long time to get where I am, but I do feel like I'm a lot more happier than I used to be.
It's changed me mentally
Yeah.
so much. I'm stronger mentally now than I've ever been.
Yeah, there's not very much else that can scare you, really, is there?
I always think if I've had chemo, I can do
Yeah, I
that.
always think
Like,
that.
yeah, it's always the
Why
chemo.
am I scared of doing this? I've had chemo, for God's sake.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. not as scared of things and scared of taking chances anymore. So
Yeah.
it does definitely make you live your life more in a way.